Good afternoon. How's it going? Karen from Quantum Heart Awakening. Happy new moon, eclipse season. I'm just jumping right into it. This is a collective new moon reading. Energies have been kind of intense, and they're supposed to be that way. There's an energy of compression, an energy of maxing out our thresholds and needing to demand something more for ourselves. And that feels quite lovely, actually. We have Stargate heart chakra opening, unlocking generosity, right? So maybe some of you have been in a position of scarcity and only playing, in a certain arena that you think you have to stay in. Okay, we have Temple of Truth, throat chakra, authenticity, self-expression. We have a lot of reversals, but I'm not going to take them. We're going to take them upright. Hathor light codes, light immersion, full system upgrade, power recall. Absolutely. It's like this new moon is bringing that, Aries warrior energy that demands more for ourselves. We have karmic board clearing. Makes sense. Energy clearing, rewriting our stories, and living in our authentic truth. And then we have Orion activation, supernova, recreation, renewal, rebirth by light. I mean, these are all, dancing around the same topic here. We're coming into deeper alignment with purpose. We are at this crossroads where it's no longer hard to make the decision, right? We honor that the next path we take is the right path, that there is no wrong path. Okay, in the unconscious position, we have solar light upgrade. Yeah, it makes sense that what's, being pushed into the shadows right now, excuse me, is the confidence to make all of this new stuff happen, right? That inner soul fire, that inner engine that pushes us through, that gives us enough endurance and willpower to take these goals, dreams, desires over the finish line. Okay. All right, Spirit, where are we going? Where are we going? Okay. Sure. Okay. All right, we have career. We have lightening your load. This is a discernment piece. What is it time? What is it time to let go of? What is it time to release? What is it time to go after and take next steps towards? Life purpose, career. Here's the thing with this, within Christ consciousness, within unity consciousness, oneness, whatever you want to call it, our work is our pleasure, is our job, is the thing we make money for, is the thing that ignites our soul fire, is the thing that brings in everything we need, is the thing that helps us tap into unlimited abundance. No longer in oneness, in kind of this sort of heart-based, heart-centered living, we're no longer fragmenting ourselves, right? How many people do you know, and maybe it's you, how many people do you have in your life that are at a job they hate because it's like great benefits or good money? And those things are not bad things in it of themselves. However, if those things are inviting you to turn your back on what's your deepest truth or your deepest soul alignment, or what makes your heart sing, then it's not good or bad. It's just that they're not sustainable. Okay, and then we have transformation in reverse. Yeah. Anything else, Spirit? Wait, let me get a specific question. Guess not. We're just going to take all of these cards. All right, we have answers. We have fertility in reverse. We have empowerment, courage, and family all in reverse. Wow. Okay. Hold on. Anytime I get a ton of reversals and then one upright, I pay attention to it and I keep it as its own enclosed narrative here. So some of you during this new moon eclipse in Aries, you are going to get answers around what is blocking all of these things. Transformation, fertility, family, courage, empowerment. Isn't it wild how that came out as a cluster? I mean, it never fails to amaze me, but there's something here. Again, you're being invited to hang tight because the answers are coming in. And you know, if I'm speaking vulnerably and sharing this with you, it's been a hell of a week. I've had a lot of body pain. There's been a lot of structural things going on with my body. And anytime that happens, I always zoom out. I always seek bigger answers to bigger questions on, okay, what's rocking, if I'm having back issues, what's rocking my foundation? What weight am I carrying that is no longer useful to me taking these next steps on my path? So it's been rough, and it's been more, even though there's been a lot of physical pain and, you know, whatever, I've had a lot of mental intensity. Like I've really had to step up and parent those parts of myself that have been sort of, you know, sinking into kind of a depressive place or a darker place, or it might not look like depression, but on the inside, sometimes it just feels like it's a moment where I have to step in the ring and I have to contend and spar with some of these denser energies. Okay. This is already a really huge message and serves me right because we started with the macro. This is my very macro deck. It's talking about massive zoom out collective energies. So now let's take it a little, let's narrow it down. All right. So, what does the collective need to know about these answers that are coming in and the process of receiving those answers for the highest and best good of self and the planet? All right. Yeah. We have self-love, and hold on. We also have health. Take care of your body. Take care of your mind. Take care of your heart. Anything else? Anything else? What else is... God, cards keep flying off the table. Karmic completion. You know, take care of your body and your self-esteem as you let these things close, as you let certain chapters of your life complete. You know, it's really hard sometimes when things are ending or dying out, or, you know, there's like a slow death on the horizon. It could really rattle us. You know, we could be in grief. We could be in, clinging or rejecting. And your job, collective, is to really drop deep, deep into your body, drop very deep into presence. Let me pull this back so we could see everything here. There we go. To really stay as grounded as you possibly can. Collective, what are your favorite grounding exercises? For me, being by an ocean is incredible. If it's freezing and you don't want to get to a big body of water, you know, taking a hot shower, taking a hot Epsom salt bath, or even if you can't take a full bath, just soaking your feet in some Epsom salt. Some people use those grounding sheets if they can't get barefoot on the earth. Is that a flipper? No. I'm trying to think what else. Visualize it. Look at all the red here. Look at all the root chakra we have here. So you could visualize a red spiral spiraling at your root in your pelvic bowl, if you will. Okay, what else? What else would support this completion from taking place? Here's the biggest question right now, Spirit. What's blocking self-love? What do we need to know? Nope, it's not this deck. Hold on. I mean, isn't that always the way, right? Our only job is to seek love and barriers to love and then do something about it, right? Okay, what's blocking love, Spirit? You know why? I have a smaller setup right now, and there we go. I didn't have as much shuffling space as I normally like. That's why everything's falling off the table. Okay, Spirit, what's blocking love for the collective? What do they need to know? What is this regarding? What are the solutions to these blocks? What would support them in taking the next kindest step towards self? I feel like I'm shuffling so aggressively too. Okay, let me lighten my load. There we go. New love. Yeah, so what's blocking you loving yourself? This new love from coming in. Sure, maybe it could be an external love. You know me, like I do name it because it is in the collective. However, nothing is more powerful than reinvigorating the love that's already within you, right? Finding new love of self, new love of hobbies, taking yourself out, treating yourself like the ultimate lover, treating yourself like your divine counterpart. What would that look like? If you are here, if you're listening to my channel, which is loaded with twin flameology, right? You are someone that is seeking some sort of divine union, whether that's with self or a external physical person. You are placing this holy grail love on the altar and kneeling at its feet, and you're choosing to love in such a way. You're choosing to seek all the blocks and barriers to this sort of ineffable love, right? And the best thing you can do for the advancement of your own soul is to excavate this love, this divine love within yourself, and treat yourself the way you would treat your beloved, your divine counterpart. Treat yourself and love yourself the way that God loves you, the way, and I don't even know that level of, because the second it came out of my mouth, like to really, when just a fraction of God gets into our system, it is so ineffable. It's like, it totally short circuits our system. It's so much profound love. It's so, oh my God, activating in the best of ways, but it literally, it's so powerful. It demolishes everything in its way, right? So it can be really intense. So your invitation is to start excavating the joy of life again. What turns you on? What juices you up? What gets you excited? What's the hobby you've been putting off forever? What is the, if you've always wanted to go to that new restaurant that now 10 years has gone by and you still haven't gone, or that museum, or you've always wanted to travel to that place, or tell that person you admire them, or that you're attracted to them, or go for it. We are in this warrior energy now that this eclipse portal has now shaken everything up. We have enough gas in the tank to get us to where we need to go. Okay, Spirit, anything else blocking self? Okay. Let's see what we got. We have sleep and hope in reverse. Yeah, okay. So, of course, sleep for me is another health thing. It's another, very specific message coming through. So everyone talks about how, getting 8 hours of sleep is so necessary and it's the best thing. And, drink your water, get enough sleep, eat nutritious food, right? Sleep is always on the greatest hits list of how we can take care of ourselves. However, for those of you who are highly sensitive to all of this intense energy, try not to cling to conventional standards of sleep. You are not conventional. Like last night, I was up until 2 a.m. and I started to stress out about it. When you do that thing where you start counting down the hours till your alarm goes off, and then you get so stressed out about that you make it that much more difficult to actually get to sleep. Can you bring even more ease and flexibility and flow into your life? Okay, if you're meant to be up till 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. or whatever it is, can you just flow with that and trust that there is a divine reason for you to be awake at that time that we might never know, right? And that's okay. Can you make peace with that? So, that's funny. I'm also supposed to tell you, a lot of these conventional requirements or ideas that are in, the zeitgeist, that are in popular culture, like getting 8 hours of sleep every night, or drinking 100 ounces of water, or trying to think of some other ones, or walking 10,000 steps a day. Like a lot of these things were created as ad and marketing and advertisement campaigns because it sounded good. Some of them are rooted in something legitimate. However, like the sleep one, there's all these studies that those sleep studies were done on men. Men need 8 hours of sleep. Women need closer to 10. I think they said 9 to 11 actually is the range that I heard. So there's also a little bit of that if you need more or less sleep, instead of going to the analytical, mental, logical brain, try to just sink into your body and listen to your body's natural desires. Try to really flex that intuition and that sensory assessment, that very micro presence, to really hear what your body is requiring from you. Another example of this is I like to do like at minimum 10 minutes, but usually like 30 to 40 minutes of yoga every day. It doesn't always happen, of course, but you know, I'm so used to putting on my favorite YouTube yoga series and doing it and whatever, but there's some days that I get a strong hit to just get on your yoga mat and allow your body to dictate the moves, right? Surrender to the mystery and to the wisdom of your body. It will tell you where it wants to go, how it wants to flex and move and stretch. And so there's something here about, again, and a second message about not being so rigid, releasing this rigidity. And I honor that that's very difficult at times, because so many of us who've experienced trauma or boundary crossing or recovering people pleasers or highly sensitive people, whatever you identify with, having survived, a lot of us find a lot of safety and nervous system regulation in being able to control our environments around us. Again, remember, we are working on being more flexible and more resilient in the face of these different forms of change and growth and evolution. Okay, let me just look. Okay, what's in the I wasn't going to look, and then I looked. What's in the unconscious position is heartfelt apology. You know, you heard me mention what's in pop culture right now. There's also what's in the collective twin flame, ideology, what's moving right now. And there is, and has been for a very long time, that one or both parties may be waiting to take action until they hear this heartfelt apology. Now, more often than not, when we're in any sort of waiting energy or any flavor of waiting, that is our invitation and sort of a red flag for ourselves to call our awareness back from places it doesn't belong. If you find yourself in waiting energy, you are literally leaking energy of some unknown thing, and you're stealing that energy from yourself. You're stealing that precious life force that you could be injecting into your own experience, your own fortitude, your own, energy that moves the wheel forward of your life. And so the message here is it's time to look this in the face, right? What's in the unconscious for me, remember, it's the shadow position. So what we're pushing into the shadows is this heartfelt apology. Just bring it out of the shadows, shine some light on it. It doesn't matter what your truth is about it. What matters is that you are saying to your spirit, it's okay. I trust whatever you feel. What you feel is worthy, it is valid, and it deserves to take up space in the light of day. Right? When we push parts of ourselves away, we fragment, we betray, we abandon these beautiful parts of self. Even if I say beautiful because they are, even if I'm just very drawn also to this hydrangea. If you notice this hydrangea, half of this hydrangea is in the shadow, right? This whole part here is in the shadow. And that's our work. It's not that we all are working towards living these picture perfect lives. It's that we are becoming such resilient souls that we can confront whatever should arise in our lives, whatever should bubble up from the depths of ourself. Okay, beautiful. Where do we go, Spirit? Where do we go? This is already a deeply layered, intense reading. Let's get some of these liminal space cards. Actually, no. Nope, we're not doing it. We're getting some of these. All right, where do we want to go, Spirit? Anything else? Any other questions? What would support this great collective unlocking of the heart? What would support this heart opening, this collective heart opening? Whoa. Okay. We have Archangel Gabriel, messenger of creativity and hope. It's the second hope card we had. And then we also have moving forward, get ready for positive change. Is there anything else, Spirit? Can you say more about what that is? We have, hold on, let me move all this down. We have choices, make the best choices. We have Archangel Raphael, provider of healing of mind, body, spirit, and the dove, take a leap of faith. Okay, I get it. Thank you, Spirit. At some point, push is going to come to shove, collective, and we are going to have to take a leap off the cliff in the direction that serves our soul. Like at some point, you no longer, when did I say it earlier? Where is it? Didn't we have a fork in the road card? I can't remember where it is, but I talked about the choice point. You'll be presented with a choice point. At some point, maybe at one point in your journey, you had choices. And maybe the choice was to leap off the cliff towards this new cool thing that you're scared to do, or just stay exactly where you are and, whatever. At some point, when you do not take action, when you repress your soul's deepest intuition and discernment enough, your choices change. Your choices then become, okay, do you want to leap off the cliff this way or this way? It's no longer an option in certain circumstances for you to stay put. It's like you want to leap off the cliff from the north side or the south side, but either way, you're going to be leaping off a cliff soon. Let's see what's in the unconscious. We have competition, summon the courage and self-confidence. Yeah, just pushing into the shadows, like all of these self-doubts, it's your job in this new moon to leap towards the courageous thing, right? My greatest spiritual mentor, Carolyn Mace, always says, if you have a choice, always choose the thing that scares you the most, because it's going to provide the most, the greatest amount of self-growth, right? You're going to have to confront so much within yourself to become the person that you need to be to do the scary thing, to have the skills and the tools and the techniques and the abilities to accomplish whatever this thing that is terrifying to you. Okay, anything about that? Anything? I want to get a little more, this message was so direct, but it feels like it's a very complex reading, but it's playing the same note. It's playing this heart-centered, this self-love, new love, taking care of yourself. I'd like a little bit more, Spirit. Can you speak into, I don't even know what to ask, Spirit. Give me a question. Okay. We have direction, the stairs, direction and timing, passed over loved one. This is ancestors, comfort, forgiveness, support. Forgiveness is coming up again. And then we have third eye clairvoyance. Okay. And then I look down in the unconscious position. We have source, divinity, and enlightenment. I mean, it always cracks me up when any sort of illumination or enlightenment card is in the unconscious. Like, no shit, it's in the unconscious. Of course, we can't see the illumination because we're so stuck in our own stuff. Like, of course it is, right? So, for some of you, how do I say this? Your gifts, your clairvoyance, your claircognizance, your clairaudience, any sort of psychic abilities, your abilities are being held back because of your lack of forgiveness, or the lack of you feeling worthy to give yourself this love, this comfort. You're being asked to, sorry, I'm getting like a fragmented message here. There's two messages. For some of you, you're being asked to lean on your ancestors or people that have passed away for support. And then for others of you, listen, forgiveness is one of those things that is the hardest lesson. I've been working with it for a very long time. I come from an old school Italian family, and Italians are not known for their forgiveness abilities, right? There's a lot of like, Hollywood movies about how certain Italians don't forgive, right? And hold a grudge, and you're dead to me, and you go against the family, you go against me. And, there's a lot of like passionate intensity around, around social, what's the word? Not etiquette, but just ways of relating. And so there's something here, collective around, it's funny, Freudian slip, I almost said feminines. I don't know why. Maybe this is a message specifically for feminines, but remember, we're reading for the collective. There's some of you that have to rewire your relationship with what happens when people wrong you. What happens when things go wrong? Do you hold grudges? Because when you hold a grudge, you're literally telling your energy, okay, I'm going to invest so many energetic circuits of my personal energetic currency. I'm going to take that out of my personal bank account, and I'm going to leak it and put it in this grudge. I'm going to put it in lack of forgiveness. And this is really important. This is where radical discernment comes in. We can forgive people without ever having closure. We can forgive people if they've passed away. We can forgive people if they've deeply harmed us in some way and are in our lives for some reason, right? Not all of us have the luxury of cutting people out of our lives. We can do the best we can, but maybe you're co-parenting with one of these people. Maybe one of these people is your boss or something. And yes, sometimes we're limited in how much we can move and make choices within that. However, we are still sovereign beings, which means we can choose what happens in our interior. We could choose what happens in our heart, mind, and bodies regarding our connection to this person. We get to discern where we spend our energetic currency and make withdrawals when we see it's no longer serving us. Okay. Wow, my jaw is locking up. Hold on. Just taking a sip of something, but you know what? Massive throat chakra. So it's like, what communication are you holding back? What is there something you've wanted to say to someone that you've never been able to say? Find a way to say it. It doesn't have to be to that person. Like I said, maybe they're out of your life. Maybe they passed away. Maybe for whatever circumstances, you can't communicate anything with them, but you can write it in a letter and burn it. You can role play and sit on a pillow and speak to the person in the room. You could put a stuffed animal in front of you and speak to that stuffed animal as if it was this person. The point is to vibrate your pain and purge it, release it, get it out of you. Okay, anything else, Spirit? Let's get some affirmation cards. I feel very drained from this reading. It's it's interesting because it's a lot of third eye mental energy. So there's some of you, remember when I was talking about the fork in the road, the choice point? So for some of you, you used to have the choice between head and heart. And now you don't have the choice anymore between head and heart. Now your choices are, okay, are you going to choose this part of your heart or that part of your heart? It's like there's a big piece of the collective here that has pushed so much of their emotional truth down into the shadows that it's wreaking havoc in your energy anatomy. It's causing problems. It's causing, I don't know what, maybe it's causing illness. Maybe it's causing headaches. Maybe notice my mouth is no longer working. Like maybe it's causing confusion. Carolyn May says that when we don't honor our truth, the first place it comes out of is our creativity centers. The second place it comes out of is our relationships. It starts to diminish our relationships. And then the third worst place that it's like the final the final countdown, the final leg of the journey is it comes out of our cellular tissue. This is all energy anatomy. You could look up her work. I'm obsessed with energy anatomy. I really believe that was her greatest gift to the world, including all her many, many best-selling books and all her incredible stuff. But energy anatomy, it's pretty freaking incredible. There's a free audio copy of that specifically on Hoopla. I don't know if you know what that is, but if you have a library card, you can get access to tons of books and videos and ebooks and all these things. Anyway, not the point. The point is, again, so the first place, when you don't honor your truth, the first place it gets taken out of is your creativity. Second place is all of your relationships. Third place is on a cellular level, literally in your cellular tissues, in your cells, and it starts to deteriorate your physical health. So if you're at a place where it's deteriorating your physical health, this is like the end of the line. And I don't say that to scare you. I'm just saying that this is cause for attention. This is like a big red flag of like, hey, now you need to take accountability, take responsibility for cleaning up what's showing up on your side of the street. Okay. We have, I am a masterpiece. It says, you are a one-of-a-kind work of art. Everything about you is intentional. Accept your uniqueness and put it on display for the world to see. Yeah, part of this eclipse season is getting confident in whoever you are, whatever you are, whatever weirdo you are. Like, come on, like, this is my career. This is what I do. I talk to God and I like play with cards. Like, this is weird stuff, right? And it took me years to just let that in a sliver. And now I'm way more comfortable with that. So what parts of yourself have you been editing or auditing down? What parts of yourself have you been hiding? Is there something that you absolutely love to do that would be very controversial or contradictory to your regular kind of muggle conventional self? Okay, and then it says there are enough hours in the day. Set a goal to make the next 24 hours as productive as possible. Then get organized and execute. You can handle anything when properly prepared. The actions required to achieve your goals will be fueled by the plan for the day. And then it says, I am patient with myself and others. I laugh that it's like, this one's like, take action. This one's like, yeah, chill out, be patient. It says the universe works on its own time, right? Divine timing. Be patient, open, and understanding, and you will begin to strengthen your ability to accept things as they come. Trust that everything will happen exactly when and as it should. You know, this has been a very challenging thing in my personal life, finding the sweet spot between taking action and surrendering. Now, I am an incredibly patient person. I surrender often. And sometimes, most of the time, that has served me. But other times, there were moments where I was meant to take action, where actually surrendering too much or, being in a place of non-action for too long actually caused more damage than good in that particular moment in time. Okay, is there anything else, Spirit? Anything else? Let's just end on some Buddha wisdom here. Okay, anything else, Spirit? Anything else? Did that flip? Yes. We have guard your mind with vigilance. Nurture the positive and remove the negative. Your mind will find peace. You know, this is another message going back to when we were speaking about the confidence, right? Your third chakra, your solar plexus. It's time you call in all of this love, all of this worthiness to love yourself enough to set the appropriate boundaries to allow you to take up enough space to go at your own pace so that you can hear and intuit and feel what is the next aligned discernment that you can make for your life that is in alignment with your soul's most authentic truth. Okay, beautiful reading. I'm going to leave it there. I hope this was supportive. I'm wiped out. I don't know how you feel, but I am exhausted. So I'm going to go ground, drink some tea, and chill out. All right, see you in the next one. Bye.